Ray is 68 years old, a retired postal carrier from Dayton, Ohio. 41 years on the same walking route, and he was proud of that. He came to see me about something he couldn't bring himself to say out loud. It took him 11 minutes in my exam room before he finally said it. His body didn't respond the way it once did. In the bedroom, with his wife of 39 years. And he said what almost every man says. "Doc, I know. I'm getting old." I told him what I have to tell you right now. Ray, that is not what your body is telling you. Your body isn't talking about your age. Your body is talking about your arteries. Here is the truth that almost nobody outside of medicine ever explains. The blood vessels that control a man's erection are about 1 to 2 millimeters wide. The arteries feeding your heart are 3 to 4 millimeters wide. Same plumbing, same lining, same disease process. But the narrow pipe clogs first, which means that for a very large number of men, the loss of function is not the end of something. It is a warning that arrives early. The Mayo Clinic puts it bluntly. Trouble with erections often appears 2 to 5 years before a man has a heart attack. In many cases, it is the earliest visible sign there is, and the only one. So, when a man tells me his manhood is fading, I don't hear a bedroom problem. I hear a circulation problem. And circulation is something we can actually do something about. Today I'm going to show you a simple golden paste you can make in your kitchen in 60 seconds tomorrow morning. Half of it is backed by real published research. The other half has a lot of internet nonsense behind it. And I'm going to separate those two things for you, honestly, because you deserve that. I'm Dr. John, board certified in internal medicine, 32 years in clinical practice, focused on vascular and metabolic health in older adults. I've sat across from tens of thousands of patients over the years, and I'll tell you what drives me at this point in my career. It's not the diagnoses. It's how many men walked in thinking they were finished, when what they actually had was something measurable, treatable, and being ignored. Before we go any further, do one small thing for me. Drop a comment right now with just your age and where you're watching from. That's it. It takes 4 seconds and it tells me who I'm actually talking to, so I can make these videos better for you. We reply to every comment with personalized suggestions, so don't hold back. And I need you to stay with me all the way through number 6, because number 6 is the one that no wellness video, no supplement seller, and no social media post will ever tell you. The situation where this golden paste can genuinely hurt you, and the exact medication in your cabinet that makes it dangerous. If you're on that medication and you start this tomorrow without knowing, you could end up in an emergency room. Number 6 could matter more to you than the recipe itself. Let's begin. Number 1, it's not your manhood that's failing, it's your endothelium. Every blood vessel in your body has an inner lining made of a single layer of cells, one cell thick. It's called the endothelium, and I want you to think of it as the smooth, non-stick coating inside a pipe. When that lining is healthy, it does something remarkable. It releases a gas called nitric oxide, and nitric oxide tells the vessel wall to relax and open. That is the entire mechanism behind blood flow, to your heart, to your brain, to your legs, and yes, to the organs involved in male performance. This is not a metaphor. That is the actual physiology. Now, here is what happens with the decades. Years of high blood sugar, high blood pressure, cholesterol, smoking, excess weight, and low-grade chronic inflammation slowly damage that lining. It becomes stiff. It gets sticky. It stops producing enough nitric oxide. Doctors call this endothelial dysfunction, and it can be measured in a lab. So the man who feels his fire has gone out has not lost his manhood. He has lost nitric oxide production in a stiffened vessel wall. I want you to sit with that for a second because it changes everything. You cannot negotiate with your age. You can absolutely work on your endothelium. Stay with me because the next one tells you what your body has been doing quietly for the past 20 years. Number 2, the decline is slow, and that's exactly why nobody catches it. If you woke up tomorrow and half your strength was gone overnight, you'd be in an emergency room by noon. That is not how this works. Data summarized by Cleveland Clinic suggests men lose roughly 1% of their testosterone each year after about age 40. 1%. You cannot feel 1%. But run that out over 25 years and you are living in a different body than the one you remember. And you never got a single moment where you could point and say, there, that's when it happened. The same slow arithmetic applies to your arteries. Plaque doesn't arrive, it accumulates. And this is why so much of it gets dismissed as just aging. Not because your doctor doesn't care, because a 15-minute appointment is built for the problem you came in with, not the 20-year trend line underneath it. Which brings me to the thing sitting in your spice cabinet right now, and the next one is where the real science is. Number 3. What turmeric actually does, and the research is better than you'd expect. Turmeric is the yellow root that colors curry. Its main active compound is called curcumin. Now, curcumin has been oversold online to an absolutely ridiculous degree. So, let me tell you the part that is real, because the real part is impressive enough. There is a test called flow-mediated dilation that researchers use to measure endothelial function directly. They put a cuff on your arm, restrict the blood flow, then release it, and use ultrasound to see how well your artery opens back up. It is one of the clearest windows we have into vascular health. In 2020, a meta-analysis combining 5 randomized controlled trials found that curcumin supplementation produced a statistically significant improvement in flow-mediated dilation compared to placebo. And a well-known trial published in 2017 in the journal Aging, run in healthy middle-aged and older adults, found roughly a 36% improvement in brachial artery flow-mediated dilation in the curcumin group over 12 weeks. Let me put that into plain English. In real people, in the age group watching this video, a turmeric compound measurably improved how well their arteries opened. Think of it like this. The inside of your plumbing has years of scale and grit on it. Curcumin doesn't blast it out. It soothes the irritation in the pipe wall so the pipe can flex again the way it was built to. So, does turmeric fix erectile dysfunction? No. Nobody has demonstrated that. And any video telling you otherwise is trying to sell you something. What it means is that turmeric appears to act on the same underlying system, vascular function, that sits beneath heart health, brain blood flow, and male performance all at once. That's a reasonable, evidence-backed reason to put it in your morning. And stay with me, because the next one is why most men who try turmeric get absolutely nothing out of it. Before we go any further, I want to make sure you understand something, because this is where most men waste months. Nearly everyone using turmeric is doing it wrong, and when it doesn't work, they decide turmeric is useless, when the truth is, it never actually made it into their bloodstream. Number 4. The mistake that makes turmeric completely worthless. Curcumin on its own has poor bioavailability. That's the medical term for how much of what you swallow actually reaches your blood. Most of a plain turmeric powder is metabolized and cleared before it ever does anything for you. You could take a spoonful every morning for a year and absorb hardly any of it. There are 2 well-documented fixes, and they cost you nothing. The first is black pepper. Pepper contains a compound called piperine, and it dramatically slows the liver's clearance of curcumin. Published research has reported increases in curcumin bioavailability of well over 1,000% when curcumin and black pepper are taken together. A pinch will do. This is not a supplement you buy. It's the pepper grinder already sitting on your table. The second is fat. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it needs fat present to be carried across your gut wall. A little olive oil, or a spoonful of full-fat yogurt, or simply taking it alongside eggs will do it. This is why the traditional South Asian preparation, turmeric simmered in oil or ghee with black pepper, was quietly correct for centuries before anyone knew the word bioavailability. So, if you've tried turmeric before and felt nothing, you may not have failed, your preparation did. And now, the other half of the paste, where I'm going to have to be blunt with you. Number 5, raw honey, what it really does and what it doesn't. This is where I part company with most of the videos you've seen on this subject. You'll hear that honey raises testosterone because it contains boron and zinc. Let me give you the honest version. There is a published review examining the mechanisms by which honey might influence testosterone, but the underlying work is mostly animal research. There are small human studies on boron and free testosterone, and they are interesting, but they are not conclusive, and the amount of boron in a teaspoon of honey is not the amount used in those studies. So, I'm not going to stand here and tell you honey will restore your testosterone. It may not. Any man who promises you that is guessing. Here is what honey genuinely gives you. Raw, unfiltered honey contains polyphenols and antioxidant compounds that processed table sugar does not. It makes the turmeric palatable, and that matters more than you'd think, because the ritual you actually stick to is the only one that works. And it acts as a carrier, so you can take turmeric and pepper together in one spoonful rather than choking down bitter powder. But here is the part I need you to hear clearly. Honey is still sugar, roughly 17 grams per tablespoon, and this is why I do not recommend the 2-tablespoon dose you'll find flying around online. That's about 34 grams of sugar before breakfast, for a group of men where a very large share are pre-diabetic or diabetic and don't know it yet. A systematic review of honey and glycemic control found mixed results. Some studies showed benefit, and at least one trial found that 8 weeks of 50 grams of honey daily actually raised hemoglobin A1C, which is the 3-month average of your blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes. Elevated blood sugar damages your endothelium, which is the exact thing we are trying to protect. So, 1 to 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons. If you're diabetic, talk to your physician before adding any honey to your morning at all, and understand that for you, the turmeric, the pepper, and the fat are the working parts anyway. I'd rather tell you the truth and have you get a real result than sell you a fairy tale. Now stay with me, because this next one is the one I promised you, and it is the most important thing in this video. Number 6. The warning nobody gives you. This is the one. Please don't skip it. First, blood thinners. If you take warfarin, and you may know it as Coumadin, turmeric and curcumin products can interact with it. New Zealand's Medicines Safety Authority issued a formal alert on this after reports of adverse reactions. Curcumin may affect platelet function and slow warfarin's clearance from your body. That combination can raise bleeding risk. So if you're on warfarin or apixaban or clopidogrel or any anticoagulant or antiplatelet drug, you do not start this without talking to your doctor or your pharmacist first. Full stop. Second, your liver. In 2022, the Drug-Induced Liver Injury Network at the National Institutes of Health published 10 cases of liver injury linked to turmeric products, typically appearing 1 to 4 months after starting and strongly associated with a specific genetic marker called HLA-B3501. Some of those cases were severe. This is rare, and it appears mostly tied to concentrated high-dose supplements rather than culinary turmeric, but the reported cases have been rising alongside supplement use, and you deserve to know it exists. Third, gallstones. If you have known gallstones or bile duct obstruction, turmeric can stimulate gallbladder contraction and provoke pain. And fourth, surgery. If you have an operation scheduled, tell your surgeon everything you take and expect to be asked to stop turmeric beforehand. Here is why I'm telling you this when nobody else does. Natural does not mean harmless. If a substance is powerful enough to change how your arteries behave, and the research says curcumin is, then it is powerful enough to interact with your medications. Those two facts are the same fact. The men who get hurt by supplements are almost never the cautious ones. They're the ones who assumed a kitchen spice couldn't possibly matter. Now you know. One more, and then I'll give you the recipe. Number 7. What the golden paste cannot fix and why that matters more than the paste. I want to be very direct with you because I think you can handle it. If your testosterone is genuinely low, no spoonful of anything is going to correct it, and low testosterone in your age group is not rare. Published prevalence estimates suggest testosterone deficiency affects roughly 9 to 23% of men in their 60s, and 28 to 49% of men over 70. The American Urological Association uses a total testosterone below 300 nanograms per deciliter, measured on 2 separate morning blood draws, as a reasonable threshold for diagnosis. That's a blood test. It costs very little. Most men over 60 who feel exactly the way I've described in this video have never had it done. And there's more the paste can't touch. Several very common medications contribute to sexual dysfunction and fatigue in older men. Certain beta blockers, thiazide diuretics for blood pressure, finasteride for prostate enlargement, and several antidepressants. Untreated sleep apnea will drag down your testosterone and your energy. Undiagnosed diabetes will damage both your nerves and your vessels. So I want you to hold 2 ideas at the same time. The golden paste is a reasonable, low-cost, evidence-informed thing to add to your morning. and it is no substitute for finding out what is actually going on inside you. The men I've watched genuinely turn this around over 32 years did both, every single time. Here's what I want you to do tonight. Just one thing, and it takes about 3 minutes. Go to wherever you keep your medications, pull every bottle out, and read the labels, looking for anything that is a blood thinner and anything for blood pressure, prostate, or mood. Then write those names down on a single sheet of paper, the real names, off the bottles, and put that paper somewhere you'll find it. In your wallet or on the refrigerator. That paper does 2 jobs. It tells you whether you can safely start the golden pace tomorrow. And it is the single most useful thing you can hand your doctor at your next appointment, because in a 15-minute visit, a written medication list buys you back 5 of those minutes. 3 minutes tonight. Do it before you go to sleep. And then tomorrow morning, if your list is clear and your doctor has no objection, here is the whole thing. Half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1 to 2 teaspoons of raw, unfiltered honey, a good pinch of freshly ground black pepper. This part is not optional. It's the part that makes it work, and a small source of fat, a teaspoon of olive oil, or take it alongside eggs or full-fat yogurt. Stir it into a smooth, golden paste. Eat it straight off the spoon or mix it into warm water. Warm, not boiling. Take it before or with breakfast, consistently. Start at the lower turmeric dose for the first week. Some men get mild stomach upset, and starting low avoids it. It stains anything it touches, so use a spoon you don't mind. And be realistic about the time frame. The vascular studies I referenced ran 8 to 12 weeks. This is a slow, quiet, structural improvement, not a switch. One morning changes nothing. 90 straight mornings is a genuine intervention. Now, back to Ray. Ray did not walk out of my office with a golden paste recipe and a pat on the back. He left with lab orders. His fasting glucose came back higher than either of us thought it would be. His blood pressure had been rising for years, and nobody had connected it to anything. We found early vascular disease that had been announcing itself for 2 years through a symptom he was too embarrassed to mention. We treated the things that needed treating. He changed how he ate, and he started walking his old route again, 3 mornings a week to begin with. And yes, the turmeric and honey went into his mornings because there was no reason not to. 11 months later, Ray told me he felt like himself in a way he hadn't in a decade. But that's not the part that stays with me. The part that stays with me is that his embarrassment nearly cost him his heart. He sat on that symptom for 2 years. He thought it was a private failure. It was a vascular warning with a 2 to 5 year fuse on it, and out of sheer pride, he almost let it burn all the way down. You have worked too hard for the life you have, your independence, your energy, the years you still have with the people who need you. None of that is something you should quietly give up on because you assumed a symptom was just a birthday. Your body isn't betraying you, it is signaling you. And a signal you can read is a signal you can act on. Now you know. Please do one thing for me before you go. Share this video on Facebook right now and tag one man you love who is over 60. A brother, a friend, a neighbor, your father. Men don't talk about this with each other, and that silence is exactly why it goes undiagnosed for years. Your share might be the only way he ever hears it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe right now. We're building toward 100,000 subscribers because that's the number that tells the algorithm this information should reach every older man searching for it tonight, instead of the supplement ad that's currently outranking us. Then drop a comment and tell me 2 things. Your age and whether your doctor has ever ordered you a morning testosterone test. I read them. And I'd genuinely like to know how many of you have never been offered one. This video is provided for educational and informational purposes only. This channel does not provide individual medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician, urologist, cardiologist, pharmacist, or another licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to your medications, supplements, or health routine, particularly if you take blood thinners, have liver or gallbladder disease, have diabetes, or have surgery scheduled. I'm Dr. John. I will see you in the next video. And there is something I deliberately left out of this one, because it deserves a conversation of its own. There are 4 very common prescriptions sitting in millions of medicine cabinets right now, prescribed for perfectly good reasons, that knee quietly suppress male vitality as a side effect. Most men taking them have never been told. That's the next video.